Here are 15 things that you absolutely must do before a cruise. Some of these are really important, like you will not be allowed to board if you don't do them, but others are just non-obvious, and if you don't do them, you will really be either disappointed or regret it. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm actually getting ready for a cruise now. I have less than 30 days before my cruise. So I've got a list going of all of the different things that I need to do. And being completely honest, it is more complicated than the last time I cruised before this pandemic. Some things have changed. And at the same time, what I did is I put together a list, and I thought I would share it with you because these are some things that all of us really should do before a cruise. And some of these really aren't very obvious. And I have to say, some of these things I have not seen on any other list. So I'm going to share that with you now. But before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give the video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And of course, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I would love to have you here within the LifeWell Cruise community. Let's get started. So the first thing is to do your online check-in. Now in the past, I always did my online check-in about 30 days before a cruise. And on the most part, this video is within 30 days, but I would say for online check-in, do this really as soon as possible. A part of that is there's going to be information on the cruise line website about, well, what you need to know for this cruise. There are health protocols, etc. Make sure that you keep up to date with this from the time that you book your cruise all the way till you sail. And of course, at the same time, it has been a long time for many of us that we've cruised. Just make sure that your passport information, your government ID, that it is up to date. If you need to get your proof of vaccine and other documents in order, this is the time to do it. So do that as early as possible. Number 2, download the CRUISELINE app. Now, in some cases, you're going to have information that you need to fill in on the CRUISELINE app, even if you've done your online check-in. This is the case with Princess Cruises with the Medallion class app, but it is not the case for all cruise lines. However, for most cruise lines, you are going to be using your app. If you have a phone, you are going to be using it on the ship. You might have your menus on it. You might have the cruise planner on it. You're going to have your safety briefing or your muster drill information on your phone. And while you don't necessarily need your phone on cruises, I would say a phone or a smart device is becoming more practical than ever. And you might as well download the app as soon as possible. Get familiar with it while you're on Wi-Fi. Take a look at it before you arrive at the cruise. Number 3, make your pre-cruise arrangements if you haven't done so already. So if you haven't booked your hotel already, book your hotel. If you've booked your hotel already, this is a good time to do a little price check. See if that price has gone down. That does happen from time to time. At the same time, you'll also want to make any shuttle reservations. Maybe you're booking a shuttle with a cruise line, or maybe you're booking a shuttle with the hotel. So do take a look at that as well. And even if you're planning on just taking an Uber to the cruise port, this is a good time to research your options. Number 4, order your COVID test. If you are ordering them to your home, order them as soon as possible, but certainly within the 30 days before your cruise. Or make your appointment at, well, wherever you do make your appointments, whether it's your CVS or your Walgreens. Do make your arrangements for those appointments. And as always, keep up to date with if there's any information that changes. Just keep up to date with all of those requirements. What I would do is obviously keep an eye on any of the emails that come from the cruise line, but at the same time, check back on the cruise line website just in case. Number 5, start packing and getting organized. Now, I'm not suggesting that you actually pack your suitcase 30 days before your cruise, but this is definitely a good time to start getting organized. Start putting out the clothing that you think you might want to wear. And this way, if you do need to buy anything, you actually have the time to get it. At the same time, about 30 days before your cruise, try on any dresses, try on any suits, make sure that your shoes are still good, that you're comfortable. Try on those bathing suits. That's important too. And you may even want to check on the cruise line websites at the dress codes. Many cruise lines have actually changed their dress code or just made it a little more lenient over the last few years. So maybe a few years ago, maybe a cruise line didn't allow you to wear jeans in the main dining room on a smart casual or a casual night. And now maybe they do. So the way that you might pack may have changed from the way you would have packed even 2 or 3 years ago. Now, what I like to do is have sort of a packing area in a spare bedroom, like on a bed, and I have like a clothing rack where I can keep my items and then look at things and decide what to bring and what not to bring, put all of my cruise essentials, all of those sort of things. And as I gather things or I think of things I might want to bring, I'm able to put it there. Please let me know if you do that as well. If you've gone on a cruise before, do you have sort of a packing area? I think a lot of people do. Now, I do have a cruise planner with packing lists, with to-do lists, with things to do before a cruise, all of that, even cruise outfit planner. So I do have that, and I do fill that out as I go just to make sure that I do stay organized. If you are interested in that, it is a 47-page printable cruise planner, so you can actually print that out as many times as you want at home. I will leave the information linked in the description below in case you're interested in checking that out. Number 6, make cruise line reservations. And this is in particular for activities on the cruise ship as well as for dining times. Now, on some cruise lines, now in particular, I'm talking about Royal Caribbean, on their larger cruise ships, the activities are just phenomenal. The shows are really just amazing, but they can't accommodate everybody at the same time. So what they do ask people to do is make reservations for those main shows ahead of time online before the cruise. And I have read so many comments from people that have been so disappointed because they've gotten on the cruise ship and they just weren't aware that they had to do this before their cruise. Now, of course, you can still sometimes see a show once you're on the cruise ship, but that's only if there is actually room. And sometimes you actually have to line up and wait till the last 10 minutes before the show. That just isn't really relaxing. I just don't want you to be disappointed. So make sure that you do check that out online before you go. Make sure if you do need to make any reservations that you do so. Now, other things to book online before your cruise, no matter what cruise line you're on, are shore excursions. There's really no advantage to waiting till you're on the cruise ship. The price may actually be higher, but even if it's the same, you will have less choice of excursion. So better off to book it ahead of time before your cruise. And if you do have questions about the shore excursion, you can actually call. There's usually like a toll-free number for the cruise line. So you can still call somebody at Shore Excursions and they can give you some information. And if you are interested in a drink package or Wi-Fi, buy that online before your cruise. In most cases, it will be heavily discounted before your cruise. And I have really never seen that the price is lower once you get on the cruise ship. If anything, it can be 50% or more higher when you're on the cruise ship. So if you're sure you want this, book it before your cruise. There is one little exception, and that is a spa. Sometimes you'll find a discount by booking it before your cruise, and if that's the case, definitely go ahead and book it if you do want to make that spa reservation. But sometimes it's not necessarily cheaper, and once you're on the ship, you can find some great spa specials. Number 7. Now, for something really not obvious, but we all live really busy lives, and I just think we have to schedule this in. So make sure by 30 days before your cruise that you do plan these appointments. So for ladies, we might want to do our hair color. For men, it might be hair appointments. For ladies, it might be manicure, pedicure, maybe waxing, eyebrows. There are all the different things that you do. Make sure you make those self-care appointments before your cruise. Number 8, consider joining a roll call. And a good time to do this is like by 30 days before. Now, roll calls are often available on Cruise Critic message boards. There are other message boards as well. So let me know if you have any that you suggest. Please let me know in the comments below, or otherwise on Facebook, you may find this as well. And I've really found these handy in the past. I haven't actually used one for this next cruise that I'm going on, but oftentimes I've joined the roll call and then I can see what excursions people have planned. People maybe have done different research, and maybe sometimes they're posting the menus in that Facebook group, or they're posting it in the message board. I really like to know that. There are a lot of different tips. Maybe they're posting who the cruise director is, what some of the best activities are on board. So it's also a good way to maybe make connections before your cruise, meet some people, and even book together with other people for shore excursions. Number 9, take out cash before your cruise. So I just often don't have cash on me. So I always have to remember to go to my ATM or to the bank to withdraw some cash. And in particular, if you want to have some small bills, you might actually need to organize yourself for that. Now, if you are going somewhere where the currency is different and you need to get a different currency, you'll have to organize that as well. So it's a good time to think about it, maybe in the 2 weeks to 1 month before your cruise. Number 10. Now, this advice might be a little bit hit or miss. I will tell you what it is. But it is to call your credit card company before you do travel, before you go on a cruise. And I say it's a little bit hit or miss because if you're traveling pretty regularly, chances are you don't need to call your credit card company. However, if you haven't traveled in a long time, or if you plan on making any large purchases, maybe in an island when you're on your cruise, then you probably do want to let your credit card company know. And I can tell you, several years ago, Frank and I, my husband, we were in Grand Cayman and we were making, I guess, a larger purchase than usual on our credit card. We were buying watches. It was a little bit of a spontaneous purchase that happens sometimes on a cruise, but it seemed like a really good deal. And our credit card, well, it wasn't declined, but it was sort of blocked. And so we did need to spend about 45 minutes on the phone with a credit card company while we were in Grand Cayman, and it wasn't really the best. So after that, we realized we just are always better off calling our credit card company. However, they've since told us we can stop calling now. So I probably won't call, but let me know if you do call, if you don't call, and if you really haven't cruised before, I would definitely give them a call. It's always better to err on the side of caution. Number 11. Now this is something that really is quite important. I think it was important before, but now cruise lines suggest it. To be honest, I never thought about it before, but it is smart. And it is to get an additional 2 to 3 weeks of extra prescription medicine before you travel. And I think that this, whether you're on a cruise or you're traveling somewhere else, this is just some good advice. So make sure that you do ask your pharmacy for more medication, your prescription before your cruise. You may also want to print out or have the pharmacy print out your list of medications and bring that with you as well. Number 12, about a week before your cruise, print out everything. So make sure that you print out your luggage tags. You want to have those, but print out all of the other documents that you have as well. So that's your boarding pass. I would even print your shore excursion tickets if you've made hotel reservations. Now, in particular hotels, if you are going somewhere maybe like overseas or something like that, you just never know when Wi-Fi fails you, and it's always good to have like a physical copy of it. If you are getting something from anybody, maybe you have a package or something on your cruise ship that you've paid for, it's a good idea to print that as well. This way you just have everything with you in case there's any snags. Number 13, before your cruise, you're going to be asked to do a health questionnaire. So at the time that you did your online check-in, chances are it will have told you that you needed to come back to that website to do the health questionnaire. So make sure to go back if you do need to do the health questionnaire, and as well do any of your last minute like online check-in. Maybe it's for your flights, for your different things. So do check back on that. There's often those things that you need to do within the last 24 hours. So save time for that and make sure that you do have that on your list. Number 14, do all of those last minute things and really keep a list of them, of those things you want to do in the last few days to the last week before you go on your cruise. And those are really those home organization things. So maybe you want to call your home alarm company, let them know that you're going to be going out of town. Maybe you want to write a little note to remember to put on your out of office message for your work email. Maybe you're having your dog boarded and you want to confirm that. Figure out how you are getting to the airport. Are you taking a taxi? Is somebody driving you? If you're going on a longer cruise, you might need to put a hold on your mail. So keep an ongoing list of those things that you need to do before your cruise. Number 15, do a last minute weather check before your cruise. Now, even if you're going on a Caribbean cruise, the weather can be iffy. So in the last few days before your cruise, it's a good idea to just check on what the weather forecast is going to be. Is it unseasonably cold? It has happened to us before that we've left out of Florida in maybe January or February, and we've had a really cool day, and a lot of people are showing up in maybe tank tops and shorts, and yet it's kind of a t-shirt and jeans day, or maybe a t-shirt, hoodie and jeans day. And just a little extra tip, always make sure that you do bring a poncho or an umbrella on your cruise, and at least one sweater or warm outfit, because you never know, sometimes even in the Caribbean, even in the Bahamas, it does sometimes get cool, and it is good to have that. So I'm going to leave the information all about the Ultimate Cruise Planner linked in the description below. It does include packing lists, but it also has an embarkation day checklist, a disembarkation day checklist, a payment tracker, a refund tracker, shore excursion planning forms, and more. So really everything that you could need to plan your cruise from A to Z. It is a printable planner, so you can print off as many pages as you need for as many cruises as you do go on. It's $10 off right now if you do want to check that out. Now, I know there's probably even more things that we can add to this list of things to do before a cruise. So I'd love to hear from you. What are the things that you think are the most important things to do before a cruise? Did I miss anything? Please let me know down in the comments below. Now, I'm going to leave a video right after this one about the very first things that you should do as you board your cruise. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And of course, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now, and happy cruising.